It's your wedding day. The love of your life is by your side. The venue is perfect. And everyone you care about is there cheering you on. Except your own parents. They didn't show up. Why? Because they chose a lavish trip to Big Sur with your spoiled younger brother instead. That's what Wendy Foster faced. A gut-punch betrayal that lit a fire in her soul. But what she did next left her family speechless and regretting everything. Stick around for a story of heartbreak, resilience, and a revenge so sweet, it'll give you chills. If you've ever felt overlooked, betrayed, or pushed aside by the people who should love you most, this story is for you. Hit that like button if you're ready for some serious family drama. Drop a comment with your own story of standing up to injustice. And subscribe to join our community of story lovers. Let's dive into Wendy Foster's unforgettable tale of triumph. Wendy Foster grew up in Oklahoma City, in a home that looked like the American dream on the outside. Her parents, Richard and Diane, were high school sweethearts who built a comfortable life. Richard ran a successful auto repair chain, a local staple that kept the family's name respected. Diane was the glue, a stay-at-home mom who organized charity events and kept the family's social calendar packed. Then there was Logan, Wendy's younger brother by 5 years, the golden child who could do no wrong. And Wendy? She was the afterthought, the daughter who tried so hard to shine, but was always outshone by Logan's effortless charm. From the moment Logan was born, Wendy felt the shift. Her parents' eyes lit up when he walked into a room, their laughter louder at his jokes, their praise endless for his smallest wins. Wendy, though? Her straight-A report cards were met with a distracted, "That's nice, honey." Her sketches of dream homes drawn with meticulous care were brushed off as cute doodles. Richard would say, "Logan's got a real future. Maybe he'll take over the business one day." Diane would nod, her smile reserved for her son. Wendy's heart ached, but she kept trying, hoping one day they'd see her. When Wendy was 16, she got accepted into a prestigious summer art program for interior design. She was thrilled, her hands shaking as she read the acceptance letter. But her dad's response was a cold splash of water. "Art's not a career," he said, his tone sharp. "You should be learning the books for the shop, like Logan will." Logan, barely 11, smirked across the table, already soaking up the favoritism. Diane didn't defend Wendy, her silence a betrayal of its own. That night, Wendy lay in bed, her pillow damp with tears, promising herself she'd prove them wrong. Wendy clawed her way through college, majoring in interior design at the University of Oklahoma. Scholarships helped, but she worked 2 jobs, barista by day, retail by night, to cover the rest. Her parents didn't contribute a dime. "We're saving for Logan's future," Richard said once, not even looking up from his newspaper. Wendy graduated with honors, her cap decorated with sketches of her dream projects. But her parents didn't show up to her graduation. They were at Logan's high school soccer championship, cheering as he missed the winning goal. Wendy stood alone on the stage, her smile tight, her heart heavy. By 28, Wendy had built a name for herself. Her interior design business, Foster Spaces, was turning heads. She transformed local restaurants into Instagram-worthy hotspots, revamped boutique hotels with sleek, modern vibes, and designed homes for Oklahoma's elite. Her portfolio was a love letter to her passion. Clean lines, warm textures, spaces that told stories. By 32, she was landing 6-figure contracts, her name in design magazines, her inbox flooded with client requests. But at home, nothing had changed. At family dinners, Wendy's achievements were barely a footnote. She'd bring up a big project, like redesigning a historic hotel, and her dad would nod vaguely, then pivot to Logan. "Logan's killing it at the dealership," he'd say, even though Logan had already been fired twice for slacking off. Diane would chime in, "He's got such a bright future." Wendy's stomach would twist, her fork pausing midair, but she'd force a smile, swallowing the hurt. She kept trying, calling her mom to share her successes, sending her dad photos of her projects. Their responses? Short, distracted, always circling back to Logan. When Diane was diagnosed with a chronic illness 3 years ago, Wendy stepped up. The medical bills were staggering, tens of thousands for treatments, medications, specialists. Richard's auto shops were struggling. And Logan? He was too busy finding himself to help. So Wendy sent money, month after month, covering hospital stays, travel to specialists in Dallas, even Diane's physical therapy. "We'll pay you back," Richard promised. but the checks never came. Diane sent a single text. "Thank you, Wendy." That was it. No calls, no gratitude. Logan didn't even acknowledge it. Too busy blowing his own money on a failed music streaming startup. Then came the brightest chapter of Wendy's life. At 33, she met Ethan, a kind-hearted architect with a laugh that made her feel seen. They fell hard and fast, their shared love for design, sparking late-night talks about dream homes and future adventures. When Ethan proposed under a canopy of fairy lights, Wendy said yes without hesitation, her heart full. Planning the wedding was a whirlwind of joy, a spring ceremony at a historic Oklahoma City venue, surrounded by wildflowers and soft sunlight. Wendy couldn't wait to share it with her family, but when Wendy told her parents about the engagement, their reaction was a knife to the heart. Richard barely looked up from his phone. "Sounds nice," he said. Diane offered a half-hearted, "I'm happy for you," before changing the subject to Logan's latest business idea, a food truck that was already losing money. Wendy pushed down the hurt, inviting them to every planning milestone. Dress shopping, venue tours, cake tastings. They skipped them all, always with an excuse. Logan needs us, or we're swamped at the shop. 6 months before the wedding, Wendy handed her parents the official invitation, her hands trembling with hope. "It's going to be the best day of my life," she said, her voice soft but pleading. "I really want you there." Richard glanced at the invitation, then set it aside. Diane fidgeted, avoiding Wendy's eyes. Logan, slouched in his chair, smirked. "Big Sur's calling our name," he said, casual as ever. Wendy's heart stopped. "What?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "We're taking Logan to Big Sur that weekend. It's a family trip we planned months ago. It's important for Logan. He needs a break. You'll be fine, Wendy, you always are." Wendy's world tilted. Her parents were choosing a luxury trip to Big Sur. Cliffs, ocean views, 5-star resorts, with Logan over her wedding day. Her chest tightened, her throat burning with unshed tears. She wanted to scream, to beg them to choose her for once. Instead, she nodded, her voice steady. "Okay," she said, standing up, her chair scraping the floor. "I understand." But inside, something broke. That night, Wendy sat alone, the invitation crumpled in her hand. Her parents' words echoed in her mind. "Logan needs a break. You'll be fine." She thought of every time she'd been pushed aside, every check she'd written, every achievement ignored, every moment she'd begged for their love. Her internal monologue screamed, "I've given them everything, my money, my time, my heart, and they choose him, again." But then a spark of resolve ignited. She wasn't going to beg anymore. She was done. Wendy threw herself into the wedding plans. But this time, she wasn't chasing her parents' approval. Ethan's family stepped in, filling the void with love and support. His mom helped pick flowers. His dad offered to walk Wendy down the aisle. Friends rallied, turning the wedding into a celebration of chosen family. Wendy's resolve hardened. If they don't want to be here, I don't need them. She stopped calling her parents, stopped texting, stopped hoping, and she made a decision that would change everything. Wendy sent a single email to her parents and Logan, her fingers steady as she typed, "Since you've chosen not to attend my wedding, I'm respecting your decision. I've also decided to stop funding your expenses. The medical bills, the shop loans, Logan's debts, they're no longer my responsibility. I wish you well." She hit send, her heart pounding but her mind clear. Over $200,000 in payments, hospital bills, shop repairs, Logan's failed ventures, canceled with one click. She wasn't just cutting them off. She was reclaiming her power. Wendy's wedding was everything she'd dreamed of. The sun set over the Oklahoma plains, casting a golden glow on 150 guests, friends, Ethan's family, even clients who'd become like family. The empty seats reserved for her parents and Logan stood out, a silent testament to their choice. But Wendy didn't falter. She walked down the aisle, her smile wide, her heart full. The community noticed the absence. Whispers spreading. Richard and Diane skipped their own daughter's wedding. For a trip with Logan? The judgment was swift, their social standing in Oklahoma City taking a hit. Back in Big Sur, Richard's phone buzzed with notifications. Friends and neighbors were texting, shocked. "You missed Wendy's wedding?" Diane's face crumpled as she read the messages, the weight of their choice sinking in. Logan, lounging by the pool, laughed it off. But even he couldn't ignore the bank alerts. Wendy's payments had stopped. The hospital called about unpaid bills. Vendors demanded overdue shop payments. Logan's latest venture, a car wash, was collapsing without Wendy's cash. Richard's voice shook as he left a voicemail. "Wendy, this is ridiculous. You can't just cut us off like this. We're family. Call me back." But Wendy didn't call back. She was dancing with Ethan, surrounded by love, her heart lighter than it had been in years. The weight of her family's betrayal was gone, replaced by a quiet triumph. They'd underestimated her, but she'd shown them exactly who she was. Wendy's story isn't just about revenge, it's about finding your worth when the people who should love you most fail you. She didn't need her parents' approval to shine. She built her own empire, her own family, her own happiness. Sometimes the best justice is living well, letting those who hurt you face the consequences of their choices. What do you think? Was Wendy's move the ultimate payback? If Wendy's story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments. Have you ever had to walk away from family to find your peace? What's the most satisfying revenge you've seen or experienced? Subscribe for more stories of betrayal, triumph, and sweet, sweet justice. Hit the bell so you never miss a tale, and we'll see you in the next one.